Hello, Umut here. Welcome to another art journal video. Today I'm going to create this lovely, very vivid page. I'm using my Moleskine journal here, and the first thing I'm going to do is to prepare my pages for a border. As you saw, I have a border that I created from flowers, and that border is on the next page. So I'm tearing off my pages to make my pages smaller and leave a gap on the other pages to create my borders out of flowers. I got some help from my ruler here. And now I'm going to use a tissue paper to create some texture on my pages. I am doing this on purpose, making it wrinkly to make it more textural so that it looks more interesting on my pages. And this is plain white tissue paper, so I'm going to stick it on my page with gel medium. You will see I'm doubling it up because it was very thin, so I'm sticking two layers of tissue paper on top of each other. Now I'm going to cut all the excess from around, and as you see I already have a texture. Now I'm going to do some stamping. This is a background stamp from Tim Holtz, and I'm going to use these splatters to create some texture and interest. This is sepia archival ink. I'm just stamping here and there. And now I'm going to cover my pages with gesso. This is light gesso, so I will push this stamping to the background, but I'm not going to cover it completely. I still want it to be there. This will also prepare my pages for the acrylic paint that I'm going to apply. I will just clean it a little bit to make it thinner and dry my page. Now I'm going to cover my page with a color. This is Antique Linen by Distress. So I will just apply it with my hand because it's very easy to apply, and I don't want to apply it with a wet wipe because it's already very light. And I will add another color. This is Antiqued Bronze, again by Distress, but I'm not going to cover it. This is just to add some interest and variance on the page, so I'm applying it to some places, not all. Again, I'm applying it with my finger. When I feel it's too much, I'm using my baby wipe. Here I tore the tissue paper a little bit, so I'm repairing it. Now I'm happy with my background. It looks like an old book paper actually, with some stains. Now I'm going to prepare my border. This is going to take some time and patience, but it's really rewarding. I used my Martha Stewart punch to create these beautiful flowers. This was the easy part. I punched a lot from cardstock, and now I'm giving them color, and I thought the easiest way to color so many flowers would be a spray. So I'm using a Funky Fuchsia from Dylusions. They are all ready now. It's time to stick them on the borders. I'm using gel medium. However, this is a water-based spray, so this color will move when I apply a gel medium on top. That's why I'm being a little bit careful here. I'm just applying the gel medium on the page and then sticking my flower on top. And I'm going to stick the big flowers first to cover the base, and then I will move to the small flowers covering the border slowly. I'm not going to bore you with all my process. Here is a sense check on how it is going. And here it is after I sticked all my flowers. It's a really nice, lovely border. Now I have this beautiful butterfly that I found on internet from graphicstock.com. I will give you the link down below. I just printed it on my computer on a regular print paper, and I'm going to stick it on my page. And I will cover it with matte medium while I'm sticking it because I'm going to use my Faber-Castell big brush markers to color this butterfly. So now the surface is non-porous and I can use my pens easily. I am going to dry it, and then here are the big brush pens. You will see the colors I'm using on the screen while I'm using it. I will just apply a little bit and then smudge it with my finger. This is my base color, a lighter green, and then I will bring a darker green to give some shading so that it looks more realistic. While I finish this, I can also tell you, as usual, you can find full list of supplies down below at the description area or in my blog. And here is the green pen. Unfortunately, the darker green wasn't dark enough from Faber-Castell, so I brought my Zig brush pens. These are watercolor markers, but I could do basically the same thing I was doing with my brush markers. And finally, this is Caput Mortuum to give some shadowing around my butterfly and blend it in with the background. When I do this, you will see that there will be more depth and the image will belong to the page more. And now I will do some texture work. This is modeling paste, and I am mixing it with one of my gelatos to make it a green color. And I'm using this beautiful stencil from Crafters Workshop. I will just protect my flowers not to ruin them with paste after spending so much time sticking all of them. You will see somehow on the other page I didn't put my paper on flowers. I realized later, but just on time. Again, I will apply this stencil and paste that I prepared here and there on my page, just to give some interest. When I don't like what happened, I can easily clean it with my baby wipe while the paste is still wet. So it's a very easy damage control. Now it's time to stamp my sentiment. I'm using this stamp set by Marianne Design. And my sentiment is all good things are wild and free. That's why there's a big butterfly and many wild flowers on my page. To stamp my sentiment, I'm using archival ink in sepia color. After my leaves dried, I saw that they were a little bit light for the page and there was no shading, so it was flat. I'm using one of my big brush pens, again a darker green, just to go over them and smudge with my finger to give them a bit of shading and darken them up. This makes them look again more real and it gives more depth. And I really love the page. The colors are contrasting, really vivid. Now it's time to cut all the excess of the flowers that stick out the page. And here it is. I am also distressing the pages just on the borders with my distressing tool by Tim Holtz. To bring the page together, I decided to make some splashes with the green I used on the leaves. But not to ruin my flowers again, I covered my page with paper. And on the borders, I'm just darkening up the edges of the pages to give a border. And I'm using archival ink again that I used to stamp my sentiment. This is sepia. And now it's time to stick the page to the back. To do so, I'm using matte medium again. And as you see, I left some flowers on the side to be able to use them later. I'm going to create some flower clusters, little ones, just sticking two of them together, the big one and the small one, from the middle, and I'm lifting the leaves, petals upwards, so it creates a bit of dimension and it looks more interesting. I'm going to stick these flowers on my page. This will bring all the page together because the borders are consisting of these flowers, and I will put a few of these on the page too. This way it will look more in harmony. And I'm left with a lot of flowers again. I won't throw them away. I'm going to stick them on the borders, just adding more flowers. And all the flowering is done. Now I'm going to embellish my flowers a little bit. I'm using this Nuvo crystal drop in the middle of my flowers to give them a center. And also I'm going to do the same for the flowers on the border. I'm not going to do it all of them, they are sticked on top of them anyway. But I will give on some of them that are more obvious. And coming to the butterfly, I'm going to give some highlights with my white gel pen. Again, doing this makes your objects look more real and saves them from being very flat, gives a little bit movement. I'm also going to use this liquid pearl in pink to embellish the butterfly, give some dots here and there. And lastly, I will draw the antennas. And everything is ready. The page is finished. I really love the colors, so vivid. I enjoyed so much playing with all those flowers. Maybe it seems very detailed to you, but I had a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed creating it. Reminding again, full list of supplies is down below at the description area or in my blog, as well as the close-up pictures. Please don't forget to give me thumbs up or subscribe to my channel if you like my videos. That's how I know you like my project. Thanks for watching and hope to see you next time.